Hey, what's going on? So yes, as the title and thumbnail suggest, I am retiring from construction. After 20 years in the job, I just don't have it in me anymore. My back and my knees, especially my back, has just gotten really bad. And it's just, I don't know, I've lost my passion for it, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's led me up to this point, and then where I'm at in this phase, and then maybe a little glimpse of what the future might hold. So I'll try to be as concise as possible. I've tried to record this a few times and I'm just blabbing too much. So I'm gonna try to be brief. And if you're interested in more information, you want to talk more about any of this stuff, I'd be happy to. So leave me a comment, ask me some questions, and I'll make some follow-up videos or answer your questions. So realistically, what led me to this decision was I'm just tired of construction. I had a major burnout about 6.5, 7 years ago. I had multiple employees working for me at the time, and we were taking on big jobs, renovating a whole house, that kind of stuff. And it was a lot of work. You know, I'd go to work all week long with my employees, and then nights and weekends I would do jobs that I couldn't do when they were there, like little small jobs, and renovating my own house, and also doing all of the work, like the business work of the business. So estimates, meeting with customers, all that kind of stuff, the payroll, everything, all the other little things that we don't even talk about, you know, meeting with the accountants and calling insurance companies and dealing with equipment, all the stuff that goes along with being a business owner, which if you are one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The job is a lot more than just showing up and swinging a hammer. So anyway, after my massive burnout 7 years ago, I just decided I was done with employees. I just couldn't handle the stress of the job and having to work 60 or 80 hours a week to make the business work. And I did very well for myself during the time previous to that. My business grew and grew and grew and grew. I had more work than I could ever handle. You know, it was crazy. I was very fortunate, and I don't take that for granted at all, but my body gave out. I spent tons of time and money dealing with my back, trying to fix my back or come up with solutions to make it so I could still work. But I missed weeks of work because I would throw my back out, and it just wasn't worth it anymore. And when I stopped having employees, every job becomes more difficult when you do it by yourself. So I just kept like paring down what I was gonna do. You know, I'm not gonna do roofing. I'm not gonna do windows. I'm not gonna do tile. I'm not, you know, it just kept shrinking. And I was like, what am I really left doing? What do I actually like doing? And that list is very small about what I actually like doing. So in a nutshell, after a series of events this summer, and really since COVID happened, COVID really pushed me over the edge to want to make the final change, because everything in everybody's life got flipped upside down. So it was a perfect time for me to reinvent myself. So I started. So a little over a year ago, I started reinventing what the new me was going to be. And almost 2 years ago, I started this YouTube channel, and I really love doing this stuff. So I started a second YouTube channel. So it's like my personal channel. And if you're interested in checking that out, there's a link down in the description. So on this personal channel, I really didn't know what I was gonna do. I just started making videos about whatever I felt like. And we were in COVID, so I was talking about like a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, turned into, you know, I started this channel, and I started the second channel, and I got into photography, and I was like really tapping back into my creative side in other ways than just swinging a hammer. So I wanna do more of that stuff. I'm very fortunate that this channel is now monetized, so it creates an income for me. Not a huge amount of money, but enough that makes it worth my time to make these videos. So I want to do this more. I want to work on my other channel. I have a third channel that's in the works. So if you're interested in seeing any of those channels or any of my other stuff that I've got going on outside of this carpentry stuff, there's a link down in the description for my website. It's just nickborsellino.com. and check it out. You can see everything that I'm up to, that I've been up to, that I don't really talk about on here. So anyway, this massive burnout happened, and I've been trying to figure out what life was going to look like. I got sober. I was a drinker and a drugger, and I got sober 6 years ago. Right after this burnout, like a whole lot changed. I found a whole new way of living. I've spent the last 6 years trying to improve my quality of life in every way possible. And unfortunately, construction for me has just held this really heavy weight. So it feels like I'm shedding this weight little by little as years go on. And over the last month, a lot of new things have transpired that basically told me that I needed to just like enter the final phase. So I had a big job that I was going to kind of oversee that I just walked away from, which was really difficult to do, but I walked away from it, and I've got a job now that I signed up for a job at the Stone Quarry Hill Art Park, which is right up the street from me. It's a privately owned art park, and they have multiple buildings on the property, and they hired me last year to come in as a consultant, look over all the buildings, come up with a plan, gather estimates from numerous contractors, and come up with a budget to get all of these buildings back to, not even back to like great condition, just back to like, I mean, there's roofs that I'm surprised are not leaking. There are roofs that are leaking. There's siding that's falling off. There's windows that are rotted. There's just, I mean, the place is really bad. There's a foundation falling apart. So we're basically gonna get the buildings back to bare minimum like okayness and then work from there. And basically they hired me to just come up with this plan, and then after I delivered the plan, they were so impressed by my work, or so it seems, they want to take me on to oversee all these projects and basically do handyman stuff and just be on call to help them get these buildings back in order. So that sounds pretty cool. It's like kind of right up my alley. I'm not doing any major projects. I'm not doing roofing. I'm not building decks. I'm not doing these big projects that I used to do. I'm just doing little stuff and hiring out all the rest. So I've got that going on. And then in the winter time, I plow. So I've got that. And then I've got this YouTube channel. So I've got these 3 income streams right now that are pretty much got me set just like on the bare minimum of getting by, right? Also over the last 6 years, I have upped and downed my expenses drastically. I slashed everything drastically when I had my burnout and I was in the process of getting sober. I cut all my expenses to like an unbelievably low amount, other than my business expenses, really. And I've basically maintained that, other than like I bought an El Camino and then I sold that. Last year I sold that. I had a personal car as well as a truck. I sold my personal car, so now I just have a truck. My girlfriend lives with me, so I have her car if I need a personal car. Like, I made a lot of life changes to drastically reduce my bills so that I could really start going forward with the stuff that I want to do outside of construction. And it's been really cool. I've got ideas like crazy. I started writing a book, which I quit. I started doing photography, which I'm still doing a little bit, but I kind of fell off that bandwagon. Like, I also have ADHD, so if you've noticed, I'm like, I talk with my hands, I'm like bouncing all over the place. I got a lot going on. I find a shiny new thing and then I get distracted and I move on to the next thing. But there's things that I want to do that I know for sure that I want to do. For a long time, I've wanted to create some sort of a network for homeowners to be able to connect with contractors on a local level. There's these big companies like Angie's List and Home Advisor. You've probably heard of them. I don't know if you know how they work, but the contractor has to pay to be a part of them. So it's not like a phone book where you're just a part of it if you're a contractor. You actually have to pay to be a part of it. And then they charge you for leads. And depends on the company which one they are, but I've talked to them all about how these things work. Basically, they'll get a lead for a job and they will charge 10 contractors and say, I've got a lead for you. And charge those 10 contractors who have already paid to be a part of this program. So now they're being double charged so that they can bid against 9 other people, right? And I'm just like, that business model doesn't work for me. So I just want a very simple like directory, and I understand it's not going to be this isn't a money-making business. This is like a need that needs to happen. So I'm in the process of getting this all set up and starting to reach out to contractors, and it's, I think, a really valuable asset to this community, my specific community. That's the thing. This isn't a nationwide global thing. Maybe it could be scalable someday, but right now it's just really small in my hometown because we desperately need this kind of a thing. Because right now people rely on like Facebook, like, oh, anybody have a plumber? And then you get 10 plumbers recommendations, you know? So it'd be nice if it was just in one place so that everybody had access to this. Aside from that, I own tens of thousands of dollars worth of tools, which I don't plan on using a lot anymore. I already don't use them a lot. Most of my tools just sit around, flooring nailers, framing guns, siding nailers, roofing guns, all sorts of specialty tools. I've got generator, tons of stuff that I just have laying around. It's in my shop, it's in storage, it's in my shed, it's in my trailer, it's all over the place. So I'm gonna start a tool rental company because I realistically don't want to get rid of these tools. I already own them. There used to be a tool rental company in my town and they closed down, and I've heard people over the years say, oh man, I wish Bouillet's still had tool rental, but they don't. Yeah. So I'm gonna start it, and it's not gonna be, a ditch witch and like these big things. Like you can go to Home Depot and rent big machinery, but that's the thing. Home Depot is the closest place. It's a half an hour away. If you do a 4-hour rental, that's an hour out of your rental just to drive back and forth. Anyway, so I'm going to do a tool rental, as well as this directory service that I'm coming up with, this resource network, something like that. And I've got some other things that I want to work on. I've got a couple YouTube channels that I really love. Like I started this YouTube channel and I got the other YouTube channel, and I just want to keep doing this stuff. And I don't know, I want to create, I want to help people. I want to give back to my community. So all of these things kind of fit that without me having to physically swing a hammer. With my back problems, I don't enjoy it. I end up in pain, and then I can't do the things that I enjoy because I'm in pain after working, So yeah, so this is where I'm at. And I probably rambled a ton, but it is what it is. This is like I don't know how many takes I tried to do. This is the one I'm gonna go with. So if you're interested in any of the stuff that I've got going, please check out my links down below. This channel will not be going away because I'm still doing tool stuff. I'm still working at the art park. I still have my house to finish renovating. Like, construction's in my blood. It's not going away. So there will be more from me. The business name probably is going to change. Rather than Borsellino Carpentry and Home Repair LLC, I think I'm going to change it to Borsellino Home Services or something along those lines to kind of try to fit with the new business model. But other than that, the channel is going to stay the same. I might not be doing as many how-to videos, but I'll still be doing business videos and tool reviews and all that kind of stuff. And if you have any videos that you want me to do, please let me know. Obviously, as I just said, I'm not going to be doing a lot of hands-on stuff. I'm not going to be doing a lot of jobs anymore. So as far as the how-to stuff is going to be very limited, and I'm just going to record whatever I do, kind of as I've already done. But if you have any questions about different tools or business or, whatever, or even more, you want to know more about this or anything else, let me know. And I appreciate you hanging out and watching this video this long, if you've made it this far. And check out my links again in the description and nickborsellino.com. You can join my email list and you'll know all the new stuff that I'm up to. Of course, I have 2 Patreons, one for this channel and one for my personal stuff. So if you're interested in checking those out, there's a link for the Patreon down below as well. All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, but you probably are, right? All right, catch you next time.